Which, when I tell you that I thought today's video was just going to be a straightforward effing video, I thought for one moment, for one genuine moment, that I might actually get my second Shane Dawson big video out there for you guys. But no! Tati Westbrook, after leaving weeks and weeks and weeks of subliminal videos with hidden meanings behind all of these music lyrics, has finally dropped her video, breaking her silence on everything to do with Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, and the whole Bi Sisters controversy. Before we get into what my thoughts are on this whole entire situation, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as well as hitting that subscribe button if you want to hear what it is that I have to say here on this channel. Also, whilst you're here, make sure that you follow my Twitch, www.twitch.tv/PaigeCakes. I do live videos on there, basically discussing commentary, but uncensored. Okay, so with that being said, let's get straight into the video right after this intro. I wasn't ready. Earlier on today, I found out that Shane Dawson has had all 3 of his Shane Dawson channels demonetized, and I thought that that was a cute little story. Maybe I was going to come out with a little 5-minute video just letting the world know. But then sis, then we found out that Tati Westbrook had something to say. Finally. And honestly, I'm shook. I really am shook. I thought that she was just going to be calling everybody's bluff. I thought that she was going to literally just sit there and wait for people to talk themselves into the ground. After the rumblings of Tati Westbrook allegedly possibly having a video on the way, all of a sudden, that's when Shane Dawson decides to speak his truth and dip, peace out on the beauty community. So it's been a mess, but I love keeping up with it. Okay, so let's get into it. So today, which is Tuesday the 30th of June 2020, Tati Westbrook decided to come out with a video basically speaking on her side of the Bi Sisters James Charles controversy, and also talking about Shane Dawson's as well as Jeffree Star's involvement in her video. She started off the video by actually giving an apology to James Charles and basically said that James Charles even requested if, you know, she needed his help to be in this video, but she felt as if she wanted to do it alone, and then she apologized for giving up on him. Now the problem, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm just gonna be going through this video and being devil's advocate, and I'm just gonna be asking the questions that I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be asking from the jump. This is not to say that I don't believe Tati. This is not to say that I don't believe James. It does not to say that I'm on anybody's side, because honestly, I genuinely feel that all of these people are garbage. I feel like they're all just terrible. So trust me, honey, I'm on nobody's side, but I am going to play devil's advocate and ask questions. So basically, she said that she owed him an apology, and she apologized to him, and that them two have become quite friendly. Here's my devil's advocate question. Question number 1 is, why on earth are you saying that you apologized to James when in your first video back after the Bi Sisters video, you said that you said what you said? I knew from that section there that she was going to try and paint herself as the victim, and I'm not buying it. I'm not buying victimhood from Tati Westbrook, and I'll explain why. So then she goes to talk on about her relationship with Jeffree, that sometimes he'd be a really great person, he'd show growth, and then other times he'd fall back and he would revert back to the same old person. But she wanted to kind of be an inspiration to him and be like an inspiring person to him. I don't know what it is about Tati Westbrook, but she has some kind of savior complex, like that she can save people, and it's actually like driving me insane. Imagine thinking that you are so above reproach that you could be a mentor to somebody else, that you could be that into, like, I'm nobody's role model. Like, don't follow me, don't follow what I do. You know, there's certain aspects of me that could be quote unquote inspirational. Do you get what I mean? I've got a lot of confidence. I'm a big girl with a lot of confidence. I know a lot of people message me and say, oh girl, you know, I wish I was like confident like you or whatever. But that doesn't mean that I'm so above reproach that I would enter into a friendship with the sole intention of being somebody's inspiration to look up to. That's somebody who puts themselves in extremely high regard, in my opinion. It was such a weird thing to say, and it was exactly what she said about James Charles, and I kind of understood it with the James Charles situation, because James Charles was a lot younger than she was. So when she was like, you know, I wanted to be a bit of a mentor to him, I completely understood that. But to do that to somebody who is your equal, who is of similar age range, and say I wanted to be an inspiration to them, I don't know, that just didn't sit right. That was just something that kind of stuck out to me. Tell me what it is that you guys think. The next thing she went on to speak about was the fact that Jeffree Star as well as Shane Dawson were venomously jealous of James Charles, and basically that James Charles was gaining notoriety, he was becoming even more and more successful, he was progressing a lot quicker than it took all of these people to, because she states that whenever she was around Jeffree Star, under all circumstances, he would bring the conversation back to James Charles and constantly talk shit about him. Which is something that we've seen from Cam Lester. He said that any given opportunity, he would bring the conversation round to James Charles, amongst others. Then she says something that, once again, I'm going to play at devil's advocate, seemed a little bit inconsistent to me. She states that she didn't really watch Shane's content, she didn't really know of him or anything like that. And I kind of find that extremely hard to believe. There is literally nobody on YouTube right now who doesn't know who Shane Dawson is. He is, for all intensive purposes, the creepy grandfather of YouTube. Like, Shane was here from the beginnings of this shit, and it is extremely hard for me to even imagine anybody Western, should I say, coming onto YouTube without knowing who Shane Dawson is. Everybody knows who he is. But then she goes on to say something that, once again, was extremely inconsistent, that she had hoped at one point that he would do some kind of documentary about her life and the struggles that she's been through. Which makes me kind of believe that, well, you must have known Shane Dawson's influence on the internet if you so desperately wanted to have your own documentary series conducted by him. I don't know, it was just a very weird thing to say. I don't know if she's trying to distance her knowledge of Shane Dawson purely because of the allegations that have come to light, but I'd just much rather her be honest and say, yeah, I've seen a couple of his videos. Like, I'm not saying that you have to say you're a Shane Dawson stan, not everybody was, but, you know, she could just say what everybody else did, which was we didn't know about those videos, which I think for the majority of people, especially people who've left comments under my video, they've said they didn't know. They had no idea that these videos existed. And I kind of feel like it's because it's been slipped in between like the semi-good content it is that he has. Like, he'll have a bunch of normal videos and then one really weird one. You'd be like, where the f that come from? And then she goes on to speak about Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star being instigators in the whole Bi Sisters video and extremely encouraging of Tati Westbrook to make it. She actually states that Shane Dawson was the main instigator of this all because apparently, allegedly, Shane Dawson had offered to make the thumbnail for her, offered to edit the video for her, as well as offering to name the video for him, like a good title that would catch people's eyes. So for all intensive purposes, she made out as if Shane Dawson was the marketing executive of this video, you know, for maximum effect. She goes on to state that a lot of things were supposed to happen that didn't happen, that Jeffree Star was supposed to go and show his receipts to the universe, that several victims would come out and tell their story, and that Shane Dawson was going to detail a section of this in his documentary, and that Tati Westbrook would have a small role in the Shane Dawson Conspiracy Collection documentary series. So this goes in line with her whole theory of getting manipulated. She feels as if she was manipulated in this situation because all of the things that were supposed to happen after the fact didn't, even as far as teasing the Tati Westbrook drama in Shane Dawson's original trailer of his video, and then not actually putting it in the video and glazing over the entire topic. So a part of me questions why she didn't come out with this sooner, and once again I'm just playing devil's advocate. Did she actually genuinely await the Shane Dawson documentary in order to see if this was going to be shown and brought to light? Because if I remember correctly, it was around the time of the Shane Dawson documentary that she unfollowed Jeffree as well as Shane Dawson. So then she goes and talks about the one part that everybody wants to know about, which was the voice note. Now, what she says about the voice note is really interesting to me. She states that the voice note sounds legit, once again, like what Blair White had said, but that the voice note itself sounded as if it was a part of a bigger conversation. Now, I don't know what the situation is, but here's my conspiracy. Now, hear me out. So, if the voice note was a part of a bigger conversation, is it possible or plausible that the voice note itself wasn't actually taken with the person's consent? As in, Jeffree Star had recorded that conversation without the other party's consent. Because that's the idea that I got when she said it was a part of a much bigger conversation. I mean, what if the victim didn't consent for themselves to be recorded in that manner. And then I thought about the US being a two-party state. I remember this whole situation happening between Taylor Swift and Kanye West and Kim West, where Kim had released an audio recording of Taylor Swift, and it just painted Taylor Swift in an extremely bad light. And people said that what she did was extremely illegal because California was a two-party state, meaning that you have to have somebody else's consent in order for a recording to happen. That's what people said on the internet. And then I thought, well, with Jeffree Star living in Calabasas, isn't it plausible that his never doing this again video was purely because he couldn't, as in legally, he couldn't release these voice notes without the consent of the person involved. I don't know, it's just a thought, it's just a theory, but when she said it was a part of a bigger conversation, I was like, are we recording people without their consent? Girl. She also states another piece of information that I think is really important to add. She states that people need to have compassion for others who come out and tell their stories, otherwise it's going to be something that repeats itself. And I honestly think that that's true. We need to be able to normalize people changing their minds. We need to normalize people gaining new information and then changing their minds. We need to normalize people understanding upon reflection of certain situations. Because for some bizarre reason here on the internet, if you say something, you are bound by your words. I can say until I'm blue in the face that I don't with Jeffree Star forever, like period, like it's never going to change for me now. However, I will always for the rest of my life be bound by the fact that 2 years ago, 1 year ago, whatever the situation may be, I was completely cool with Jeffree Star. We have this entire situation right now where this whole show is happening, and there are certain people who are friends with Jeffree Star, there are certain people who have condoned Jeffree Star's behaviour and all that kind of stuff, who may be feeling in their heart that something isn't right now, that something doesn't sit right, that something isn't good in their soul. But because we've made cancel culture so strong to the point that it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, even if a person turns around and says, you know what, this doesn't feel right, you know what, upon reflection, I honestly think that it hasn't been right for a while. That people are then going to sit there and question the motivations of the people who have changed their mind. Like, people are wanting people to cancel Jeffree Star and for all of this to be done and for him not to have a platform here on YouTube and for people to boycott his brand. But then we'll sit there and condemn the people who then turn around and say that I don't with him anymore, he's a terrible person. I now see what you were trying to tell me. And I truly believe that people learn things in their own time, and that you cannot tell somebody to do something in the time frame of which you expect them to do it. We need to normalize changing minds, and we also need to make sure that we do, like Tati says, show compassion for people who come out and tell their story or share the reasons why they changed their mind. Because ultimately, we need to let these people know that they will be embraced with welcoming arms. Because at this very moment in time, there could be somebody who is sitting there with condemning, damning information on Jeffree Star that's sitting on their soul and doesn't feel good for them, and they are choosing not to speak on it purely because that if they do speak on it, it's going to open up an even bigger can of worms than if they just distance themselves and keep it pushing. There are several situations where silence is golden, but in this situation it is not golden. We need as many voices as possible. Anyway, moving on from that point, but I thought it was important that I needed to make sure that people knew about it. But moving on from that point, she basically states that Jeffree Star is extremely jealous of James's growth, and actually states, apparently like when they were walking through the warehouse or whatever, when he was supposed to be taking over Tati's merch line, that all he did was sit there and shit talk James, but because it was obvious that James Charles actually takes up the majority of his sales and makes a hell of a lot of money for Killer Merch. And she also feels as if Shane Dawson is just jealous of James's growth purely because James has got to the level that he is and more, when obviously Shane's been on the platform for several years, over 10 years. So basically that's Tati outlining what people's intentions and motivations would have been. Okay, and the last point that I actually wanted to draw attention to, Tati stated at the beginning of the video that when she originally made her Bye Sisters video that it was nothing to do with the sugar bear hair. Like, yeah, it was annoying, but it wasn't the be all and end all. I beg to differ because that took up the majority of the 40 minutes that we had to sit down and listen to why James Charles is such a terrible person. Put a pin in that because I'm going to come back to it. Then she goes on to state that she found out that Jeffree Star was an investor in Morphe, which was found out by various different drama channels. So essentially, Jeffree Star has a vested interest in Morphe, and that it's no secret to her that the whole situation turned out the way that it did, or that people were trying to silence her within the community, because Morphe is apparently coming out with the whole like chewable pill situation as well, pretty much like Sugar Bear Hair Company. So essentially she's stating that her conspiracy is that they just wanted her out the picture. And I'm like, girl, you are saying it's not about the pills, but is it about the pills? Because it feels like it's about the pills. Is it about the pills? Are you mad about the pills? Because it feels like you're mad about the pills. Because no matter what the situation is, for some bizarre reason, we are talking about abuse allegations, we are talking about allegations, we are talking about people extorting people, we are talking about people blackmailing people, we are talking about a plethora of crimes, and still for some bizarre reason we're bringing it back to these pills. And honestly, I'm sick of hearing about them. So my question is it about the pills or not, sis? Is it about the pills? Because I feel like it's about the pills. So basically, in this whole entire video, Tati Westbrook is stating that she was manipulated, which was exactly the kind of video that I genuinely thought that she was going to make should she make a video. I think it's important to state that this video, as she stated in the beginning, was looked over by a lawyer. So although this whole video absolves her of a lot of situations that she partook in, that's what lawyers do. That's what they're very good at, is spinning narratives. That's their job, that's what they're paid to do. So I'm not just instantly going to take what's been told to me at face value, especially if a lawyer was involved. But the whole manipulation story just doesn't work out for me, and the reason is because Tati, you are a grown ass woman. You are grown. You are a big girl with your big girl pants and your big girl boots. You are big. At your big age. So okay, let's just take it down to its rawest form. You were told that shit was going to go down, that all of the information that you were fed was real, and then you, out of all of the people who were involved who knew this information, you were the one who came out with your video first. You were the one who came out with Bye Sisters before Jeffree said anything, before Shane had said anything, before the people who already had issues with James Charles had anything to say. You were the one who came out first, and you were the one who came and told your story. And now you're sitting there saying that I feel like they changed the narrative several times because I didn't want to play their game. What game? What game? You came out first. You decided at your big age that you were going to get on your platform and discuss this situation. And you may not have called James Charles. I'll give you that. You didn't do that. But for somebody who wanted to be the quote-unquote mentor to somebody, you really did just pick up your mentee and feed him to the wolves. Now, I don't know if James Charles has done something. I don't know if he hasn't done anything. I simply don't know. But what I will say is you damn well know that it was about your pills, you damn well know that it was about your business, and you damn well know that that's why it took up over 50% of the original Bye Sister video. You were pissed off and you decided to throw all of these instances in with the situation too. That's exactly what you did at your big ass age. Tati, I am not buying it, sis. I am not buying it. And your hands aren't clean either because you went to the drama channels and you spoke your story to them too. So I'm not gonna sit there and buy that you are the victim in this situation, Tati. Nope. Honestly, I'm just not gonna see it as any different because at your big age, you should have known better. Okay, so then what happened after that whole entire situation is that Shane Dawson actually starts live streaming on Instagram his reaction to Tati's video. Honestly, when you thought that this day couldn't get any crazier, it gets a billion times more crazier. So this is what was caught and was put on Instagram. A lot of different people found this video, so I don't know really who to credit. But if this is your video, make sure that you let me know. I just don't know who to credit right now. But this is what Shane Dawson had to say.
Okay, I'm live because I can't even process. I need a drink of water. I can't process this. This is insane. This is insane. This is insane. This woman is a oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to wait till as many people get in here as possible because I'm losing my mind. Keep playing it. Keep playing it.
I didn't know I was making a video. So how is it that so many editorial outlets knew that something was coming before I had...
Because you message drama channels! Oh my God. Oh my God.
I struggled with the decision
Oh my
to
God.
film my video for days. The night before I did film, Jeffree sent me what he claimed was an audio file from an alleged victim and told me to listen to the pain in their voice. The audio was clearly a small portion of the conversation. It wasn't enough for me to contact the authorities. It was enough to scare me.
Well, then why would you make a video on the matter claiming these allegations?
Because she is a... I can't. I don't want to say mean things about people. This is insane. This person literally... Oh my God. Okay, sorry, keep pressing play. I need to get through this video so I can... Oh my God.
As a victim of abuse myself...
Oh my God. You are so manipulative.
To think of facing public...
You're fake crying. You are fake crying. That is not real. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I have been, oh my God.
Victim.
That is not.
And I made no mention of it in my video.
Oh my God.
Get off.
The night before posting my video by sister,
Oh my God.
I texted Shane sharing my concerns for James Charles, that he was out of the country on the high floor of a hotel and I was afraid for him.
Okay, so at the end of the video, you can see that Rylan says, get off. So Shane Dawson was told to get the fuck off the internet. But I thought that was, the ever-conservative Rylan not wanting anything to happen. Whilst all of this was also going on, Shane Dawson tweeted out this. And then shortly after, Rylan, who never speaks, decided to read Tati for filth, honey. This is what he had to say. So yeah, basically that's it. I think everybody's all caught up, unless whilst I'm recording this or whilst I'm editing this, more information comes out. But that is literally what happened. I told you that Carmageddon was going to come. I told you that Carmageddon was going to come for all these hoes and that we needed to be prepared. And look at what happened. Anyway, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up if you like it. Also, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, as well as making your way over to my Twitch, www.twitch.tv/PaigeCakes, and that's where you will find me. And until next time, it's been Paige. Or PaigeCakes, if you're nasty. Bye.